There's something in the water in the Highlands, and I don't think it agrees with everybody. Everything's got a little bit unhinged. Welcome to Sarah Kennedy's Traitors Roundtable, and I am a little bit confused. Fiona's gone, but all the crazy remains. The faithful are falling apart, division and deception is rife. Harriet shows a mean streak. Is she just Fiona but with a bigger vocabulary? And is anyone out there a plumber? Because I know a fountain that really needs your help. Welcome to the Roundtable. I'm Sarah Kennedy. You may know me from Made for TV podcast, and also I'm on Custard TV podcast this week, so check that out because, of course, we talk traitors. This is your spoiler warning. Now is the moment to go and make sure that you are up to date with episode 7 of The Traitors UK. Come back to me when you are ready to talk because, again, this is one that I think requires a little bit of discussion. So you'll remember last week we ended on an incredible cliffhanger. Matt's amazing question to the traitors in their little confessional box. Matt, mate, is it going to be deal or no deal? Yes is the answer, but obviously with traitorous caveats, it's almost like you can't trust them. And can Harriet, entering next, match that question for cleverness? Well, yes and no. This moment where they have to write down their answers, have a little discussion, write them down and put them through this little post box, it just makes me think there's less ways for them to be caught out than I would have liked. If they'd had to come up with an answer really quickly and use maybe a voice changer or something, I think that would have been more interesting, perhaps maybe something they could think about for another series, because I think that the act of writing the answer down gives them too much thinking time and gives the traitors too much power, especially as they are also allowed to lie at this point. So Harriet presents her CV, comes clean about her job, and asks them for their top 3 recruits. All lies, of course, but she sees through straight away. She's absolutely fuming. She tells Rachel that her days are numbered, and Rachel is scared. She says, I'm done. She's scaring the life out of me. Stephen basically stands there in his cloak, open mouth, catching flies. Harriet, with the mic drop of all mic drops, says, I bet you wished you'd killed me when you had the chance. Her books are sounding pretty good about now. So, breakfast, and Harriet is coming clean. Bold, very bold. This game face of hers is so serious that she comes across as unlikable, which is obviously something that gets thrown around about powerful women on TV and, let's face it, everywhere. But she's presenting herself as a liar. And now suddenly she's shouting over Roxy as well, being very domineering, not like her character up to this point. Matt, in quite the opposite way, is keeping his information that he got from the traitors secret for obvious reasons. But that looks sus too, and he's not even making up a story. Yeah, very tense breakfast, and then the mission. There's been a horrific garden makeover. And in this massive fountain, there's this murky, coppery, blood red water, which clearly they're going to have to go into. They've got to pick out coins from the water to give them directions to horrible, demonic-looking cherub statues. Under each statue is a shield. They can take the shield if they wish, but in this instance, each shield costs £1,000 out of the prize pots. This is an all-or-nothing mission, and potentially they could get £10,000 from it. Well, the faithful are hungry for protection. Faraz, Jessie, Jade, and Jack all take shields, and within their own little teams, they keep it quiet. They agree to keep it quiet. Because that way the traitors don't know who's taking the shield, therefore more difficult to murder. Jack, as he takes the shield, goes, I can trust Stephen. He offered me the shield. Oh dear, sunshine. Rachel and Stephen also managed to take the shields from their faithful team members and keep it quiet. And James in quite a bold move, while the team are distracted as someone, I think maybe Harriet, falls in this fast-flowing little river, he manages to sneak the shield out from under the statue with nobody noticing, which is smart, but also difficult. So 7 shields were taken. So that leaves, they get through the mission, they win the mission, they could have won 10k, they only win 3. And everyone is really angry about it, whether they took a shield or not. There's lots of division, there's lots of confusion and recrimination on the way back to the castle. James is already on the back foot, lying to everybody like Shaggy. He doesn't manage to maintain his lie for very long because people ask him directly, did you take a shield? And he starts to feel really guilty. The white boy team are falling apart. They're all turning on each other. They are having a very bad day. So with this mood elevated and stressed already, we get to the round table where we know Harriet is going to show down with Rachel. Harriet takes a slightly softer tone at the beginning, trying to be nice to Rachel, saying that she's dressed to kill. She really is. I'm loving her vengeful yoga instructor this evening. Rachel then talks again a little bit about her FBI profiling skills that she's learned to get into the show, and that she's an expert on microaggressions. Fine, but you have to put your money where your mouth is. Jade defends herself by saying Amanda got it completely wrong with me, even though she was a detective. And this the viewer knows about Amanda, as though she got it all consistently wrong, bless her. And Matthew is still keeping his cards very close to his chest about the conversation that he had with the traitors. He's talking about dud info. A traitor lie would incriminate me. He will not spill anything about their conversation, nor even make it up like Rachel did. He is doing this because he really wants that deal that he brokered with the traitors to be legit. He wants them to trust him and recruit him. Now, this is where it all goes a little bit Fiona. Harriet ends up sounding a bit nuts. She thinks there's maybe 4 or 5 traitors still in the game at this stage. We are over the halfway point. That is not a thing. That is not how this game could be played. And then suddenly she's yelling, call my bluff, call my bluff. She is very willing to fall on her own sword because she doesn't think anyone at that table will trust her instincts until she's standing up there telling them that she is a faithful. This is too much. This is too much drama. This is a nuts play. Why do people not want to stay in? Do these people not need the money? What's going on? She says herself it's a kamikaze move to show that her word can be trusted and an act of self-sacrifice. I don't see how all this Fiona, Harriet drama is helping anyone. Sure, be passionate about being a faithful, but keep the crazy in check, because it doesn't make you look any more trustworthy. It just makes you look unpredictable and like maybe your word isn't actually worth very much. So Harriet is banished. She basically asked for it. It is wild. Matt and Roxy are under suspicion at the end of this round table. But the big question is, will Stephen and Rachel recruit? Will they murder as usual, or will they seduce a faithful? If they murder, of course, it's a numbers game, because so many shields are floating around, so many secrets, so many lies. It's very stressful for them. It's not a fun gameplay anymore like it was at the start when the field was basically wide open. So actually, they choose to murder, which is actually a reassurance, because that's the one thing that we can rely on this game to do, is to murder faithful. Everything else has gone absolutely bananas. So I need to make a little apology here because my video tomorrow will be delayed due to, unfortunately, having to do real life responsibilities that get in the way of all this fun. So boo to that. I will be playing catch up with myself, but rest assured I will be diving into the next episode as quickly as I possibly can to have you all back here at my roundtable as soon as possible. Nice to see you again. Thank you ever so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe. Latest traitors.